series is intended for both individuals and groups. The purpose is to give an opportunity for time to reflect on the nature of discipleship and vocation. These topics are more than merely academic study. They are to do with the whole of life. Vocation has its origin in the Latin word vocare, which means to call or be called. It's part of that set of words which include vocal. In the Bible, we read that Jesus called his disciples. One example of where this is recorded is in Matthew 10:1. Jesus calls the disciples using a verb which in ancient Greek can only be used in what's known as the middle voice. It implies the caller and the called are both the subject of the call. They act together. Jesus is following his call as the Messiah, and he invites those he calls to participate in it with him. Something we notice amongst the disciples of Jesus is that they join him in his vocation as they work out theirs. A good example of this comes from the feeding of the 5,000. This miracle is reported in each of the Gospels, and the disciples are given the task of solving the problem of obtaining food. They provide it, and Jesus provides the miracle. The purpose of this series is to enable us to discover how we work with Jesus and each other to discern our personal vocation, the vocation of the church where we gather, and how these work together with God's intention for the church. If you're using the material here for your own discernment, the best way to do so is to find a quiet place where you can watch the videos. Watch each video, making a note of anything you think is important as you go along. Then watch it for a second time, going back to the things you have noted, and ask yourself why they stood out to you. Write down your answer. Then read through any scripture passages mentioned and use the following questions from gospel-based discipleship to help you to think about the Bible passages. What words, ideas, or sentences stand out for you in the scripture you've read? What is Jesus saying to you? What is Jesus calling you to do? Ideally, you should take time to read the reading 3 times, asking a different question each time. Again, write down anything that strikes you as important. Repeat this process during all the sessions. By the end, you will have developed a personal journal of where God might be calling you. It may then be time to go to discuss what you've discovered with others, perhaps the minister of your church. If you intend to do this as a group, I suggest the same process as for an individual, remembering that you're looking for the vocation of your community as well as your own. Take everything you've written to the group meeting. Spend time sharing what you have discovered in your own time of reflection. Then watch the video and read the scriptures together, asking the same 3 questions, but this time they should relate to the church and its vocation. What words, ideas, or sentences stand out for your church in the scripture you've read? What is Jesus saying to us? What is Jesus calling us to do? Someone should be designated to keep a journal for the church, though individuals may wish to do so as well. As you repeat this process, looking at each video and set of scriptures, 2 things will happen. You will understand the word vocation more deeply, and a vision for the mission and ministry of your church will begin to form. One of the most important things during this time, whether doing this individually or together, is for you to be willing to step out of the way and try to hear God. You'll probably find that God will speak to you out of the blue when you're not engaged with intentionally seeking to hear. Be ready to remember or write things down.